He said that Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open door.
How you doing, all you Cajun-loving Americans out there across the fruited plains of this great continent of America? Hope you're having a good day, good week, wherever you're located, because you got to remember that this is the day that the Lord has made. We should rejoice and be glad in it. Hope everyone's having a good day here in this great country. Even with all the problems we have, remember that we are still the land of the free and home of the brave. And I'm just going to tell you right now that God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. We have a lot of issues to discuss. We have a lot of things going on here at the Cajun Conservative Studio. BGS Media is expanding, and we are starting to do a lot more. And I took a leap of faith the other day. And, I had a lot of people asking about advertisements and stuff like that. And I was afraid to jump into the next endeavor on of this, I guess you could call this my podcast career or my media career. And I took a jump. And it's paying off right now. It's a little side hustle. But I'm excited. I am blessed beyond measures, because I have Jesus in my heart. And I feel the Lord is going to bless us, but I need your help. I need your prayers. I need your support. You guys are the reason I do this. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm into politics. I love talking about politics. A lot of people did not like to hear me talk about politics, so I decided to do a podcast, and there's a whole audience out there that loves politics. And I am excited. We're like-minded folks. I can't wait to see what God has in store. We are on our 219th episode 219 for all you guys that are listening and are keeping track of the numbers. But we got some good things going on. God is blessing us beyond compare. A few shout outs. I'd like to give a shout out to Give-A-Derm. Give-A-Derm is a dermatology company, skincare products, facial products, and all that good stuff. It's all natural, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of companies go ahead and put out skincare products and stuff like that, and they have chemicals in it, and those chemicals can hurt your body. And we know in America, capitalism is good. I like capitalism, but sometimes people cut corners to make a buck. Not Give-A-Derm. Give-A-Derm goes ahead and they put all natural product out there. Great packaging. It is a all women led company. If you're listening and you're on the left, you should be happy about that, because empowering women, us conservatives are doing it. We're not just saying it and pushing them to the side. Conservatives are doing it. Conservatives are empowering women. So go ahead and check out Give-A-Derm, all led woman company. They are conservative. They're a great company. Their link will be in the bottom of the description of this video or the audio podcast, whatever one you're listening to. And remember, when you check out, put in the promo code BGS Media 10, BGS Media 10, and you will get 10% off of your products. So go ahead and go ahead and check out Give-A-Derm, the Give-A-Derm company, and look, great products. Like I said, great packaging, by the way. We got some of their products in the other day. All glass bottles, great packaging. This is not a cheap product. I promise you. It's not a product that was just, hey, let's just put it in a bottle and send it out. No, they took their time and they crafted this company to where it would please you, the customer. So go ahead and give a shout out to Give-A-Derm. Go ahead and check out Give-A-Derm and their company out there. 10% off if you type in the promo code BGS Media. Just hit the link in the description. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of things have happened with Hunter Biden in the last couple of days. One, he is suing the IRS. Why is he suing the IRS? Because he feels that the IRS tried to target him. That's right. This is from Fox News. Hunter Biden sues IRS. Alleged agents tried to target and embarrass him. Now, this is coming on the heels of his indictment. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But Hunter Biden is playing a victim. The reason the IRS is coming after him is not because he did something wrong. It's because he is the president's son. And because he's the president's son, people are trying to go after him. This might be why he is doing this, to make people aware that, look, David Weiss, the special prosecutor looking into Hunter Biden, is looking into him not because he wants justice. He's just going after the president's son. Granted, this is this special counsel, it was put in by a Democrat, I think Joe Biden, ladies and gentlemen. But Biden's attorney filed a lawsuit against the IRS on Monday, alleging that agents have targeted and sought to embarrass the president's son. Biden Monday morning filing reached two examples in IRS, Gary Shipley and Joseph Zinger, two whistleblowers who claimed the IRS mishandled aspects of its investigation into Biden. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you remember, he was going to plead guilty with the plea deal, which it didn't fall through, and all of a sudden say, hey, I didn't do nothing wrong. In addition, Biden is demanding $1,000 in damages for each and every unauthorized disclosure of his tax returns, including disclosure that happened after the fact. Fox News Digital reached out to the IRS for comment on the lawsuit, but they did not immediately respond. So, ladies and gentlemen, according to whistleblowers, the IRS went ahead, and these are the two whistleblowers that he is suing, because they said they mishandled the investigation. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is true, and we know now that Hunter Biden did cheat on his taxes, okay? Just think about it. This is the least of his crimes, in my humble opinion. This tax evasion is the least of his crimes. It will be a major issue if they find the shell corporations, and if it was true that Joe Biden helped Hunter Biden out. If he went ahead and helped Hunter Biden out and tried to, get some overseas dealings and all that stuff, and they didn't pay taxes on them shell companies, this will be a lot bigger issue. But the issue that we have at hand is that he's saying these people are not coming after him because he broke the law. No, he didn't break no laws according to them. They just want to shame him. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And look, I'm gonna bring it to a personal point right now, because anybody that talks bad about the Bidens, there's no truth to it, according to the media. If I come out and I say the Bidens are doing something wrong, and I bring you news articles, which I read and I believe are true, I bring them out and I tell you my opinion of them news articles, they'd say, well, look, Isaac isn't trying to get news out to people or trying to get his opinion out to people or trying to get facts to them so they know what's going on. No, that's not it. No, they just don't like the Bidens because they're conservatives. And this is what's Hunter Biden's. They filed this lawsuit on the premise that the IRS agents that were looking into Biden just did not like him. That's why they opened an investigation. And they wanted to embarrass the president's son. No, they had some intel. To open an investigation like this, they had to have some credible information. Look, even the Donald Trump indictments, as much I think they're political, as much as I think that they're wrong, they should not have no indictment against Donald Trump. They had to have some type of evidence to open these indictments. Now, we know that grand juries and special prosecutors can indict a ham sandwich. We know that. But ladies and gentlemen, they look, I'm gonna use an example of the documents case. Now, I don't know if it was true, but Donald Trump said they pushed down the docs and all that. I don't know, but they took pictures and they showed the American people, hey, look, see, they had top secret documents. So for them to open an investigation, especially into the president's son, they had to have some motive. They had to have some. And also, you got to realize, this is Biden's IRS. This is Biden's administration's IRS. And they're going after Hunter Biden. But no, they just don't like Hunter Biden. It's funny how, look, on this note, because I'm about to say some other things about Hunter Biden, because Hunter Biden had a bad week. Hunter Biden. Oh, they just don't like me. Oh, they just don't like me. You got to realize, it's funny how every time something happens with the Bidens, or something that something criminal. It's not based on facts. The media won't say it. The media, they just don't like Hunter Biden. They bring it to a personal case. What if Hunter Biden really did lie about his taxes? According to the two whistleblowers, he didn't file certain things. Ladies and gentlemen, let you or I do something like Hunter Biden did. Just think about it. Don't file your taxes for a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. I'm not advising you. I'm just saying. If you go ahead and not file your taxes, the IRS is going to come lock you up. But because it's Hunter Biden, they're investigating and they let him stay. They let him stay free. They letting him go ahead with his normal life. And when they finally come out and say, "Hey, we think he did something wrong. We need to go after him." The first words out of his mouth is like, "I didn't do it." No, it's, "Oh, well, y'all picking on me because I'm the president's son, and y'all harebrained, no good conservatives or Republicans just don't like me and my daddy. That's why y'all coming after me." But when a Democrat goes ahead and goes after a Republican, these are based on facts. We're not doing this because it's personal issues. We're doing this because we want to show that nobody's above the law. Except in the Democrats' eyes, a Democrat. If you have a D behind your name, you're over the law, because every time we see something like this, Hunter Biden normally gets away with it. This is why I really was surprised when the plea deal didn't go through. I am proud of the judge. I said, no, you're giving him full immunity on things you should not be giving him full immunity on. So, ladies and gentlemen, he did right. I mean, the judge, the lady judge, she did right. Now, David Weiss went into the special prosecutor. We've talked about all this. They're not going after him on this right here, which leads me to my next story, which is that Hunter Biden pleaded not guilty to federal gun charges. This happened when he was indicted, and that's all he's indicted for is the gun charges. I really wish they would have tacked on the tax charges. This might come later on. It might. We don't know. But Biden sent a letter to the judge and said, look, he plans to plead not guilty. No surprise. Remember, he was supposed to plead guilty on this too with the plea deal. It didn't fall through. All of a sudden, he changes. It's funny how when you get free immunity, or when you think you're not going to get in trouble, you plead guilty to anything, or you admit to anything, and now that you might not get it, I'm not guilty of nothing. That's kind of hypocritical in my opinion. Now, this whole him pleading not guilty is not normal. But there was a part of this letter that caught my attention on this Hunter Biden case. In a letter to the judge, which he said he was not guilty of these charges, he asked a question. Well, he asked for a certain favor. Biden went ahead and sent a letter and asked that his lawyers asked the judge, the magistrate judge, if they can go ahead, and the judge is Christopher Burke, ask the question. This is a funny question. Well, it's not funny, but it's just, I'm going to show you some hypocrisy in the media and in the Democrat Party. Hunter Biden lawyers asked the judge if Hunter Biden and them and the lawyers could go ahead and do a Zoom call into the courtroom, and he appear through a Zoom call. The reasoning why they asked if they can do a Zoom call was because he's the president's son. And it would take a lot of Secret Service detail and the cops and the motorcade because, and look, this is right. Hunter Biden is the president's son. He should have some protection. And they were like, well, this is going to cause a lot of headache in the local community. We think he should do a video phone call with the judge. Now, I am happy to report that the magistrate judge from the District of Columbia, Christopher Burke, rejected the request in an order on Wednesday afternoon. Now, Burke gave multiple reasons for denying, including that the court believes the appearance is important because it's one of a few times that the defendant will physically be in the courtroom, and setting helps to emphasize the integrity and the solemnity of the federal criminal process. So now you might be asking, Isaac, why are you bringing this out? Because we know he's indicted and we know he's pleading guilty. That's part of it. But why are you bringing out that he wanted to do the video call? If you remember, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump has been indicted 4 times. All 4 times, if I'm not mistaken, Donald Trump has requested to do video calls or let his lawyers go in his stead. But do you remember, just think about it, remember the media? The media told you, the American people, well, this isn't right. Donald Trump should show up in person because they got the mugshot they wanted. We talked about that mugshot a few weeks ago when it happened. But the reason they wanted Donald Trump there was to film Donald Trump going into the courtroom, have pictures of Donald Trump standing in front of the judge, because that made Donald Trump look bad. Well, they thought. The American people and a lot more of the Republican Party is starting to see myself, I'm including in that this was all a sham, this is all a hoax, and this is all to go after him to stop him from running for president. And that will make him look bad. So that was their whole thing. This is going to make Donald Trump look like he's guilty. It's going to make Donald Trump look bad. Why all of a sudden, and I remember the media was like, oh, yeah, you got to have that. That was their story. And even the Democrats, Donald Trump should pay for his crimes. Donald Trump should face the judge. He should be there in person. All these arguments. But Hunter Biden, the president's son, requested to have a video. Why don't they live what they preach? If you're supposed to show up in front of the judge, and if you're supposed to go ahead and face the judge and face the crime that you're accused of, why did Hunter Biden ask for a video conference with the judge in the courtroom? Because, ladies and gentlemen, they don't want pictures of Hunter Biden's motorcade going to the courthouse, and they don't want a mugshot because he's getting indicted. Now, will he take a mugshot? I don't know, but if Donald Trump had to take one in Georgia, they should get one to Hunter Biden and let us plaster that all over and let us say, see, this is the face of the Biden administration and their corruption. That's what they did with the Trump mugs. Trump's mugshot was all over, and you had the media, oh, this is showing that we're equal in America. Nobody's above the law. Well, if nobody's above the law, let's get Hunter Biden a mugshot. See, they don't want that. They don't want Fox News and OAN and Newsmax showing that, him going to the courthouse in Delaware and facing the judge and being booked into the jail cell. See, the Democrats don't want that. And look, you're not hearing a lot of this. You're not hearing this perspective from the left. And ladies and gentlemen, I just think it's hypocrisy at its finest. You had everybody on the left and everybody on the media screaming for Donald Trump to go to the courtroom. Now that it's Hunter Biden, there's crickets. This is hypocrisy at its finest. And ladies and gentlemen, look, does this help President Joe Biden? No, it does not. Because it shows that Hunter is capable. Hunter is capable of breaking the law. Now, is he guilty? No, I'm not going to sit here and say Hunter Biden's guilty. I can assume, I can think he's guilty, but he's not guilty until he's proven guilty in a court of law with his peers of jurors. A jury of his peers. I'm not going to sit here and say that what the Republican Party is pushing with the impeachment and stuff, that Biden is guilty. Because, look, I feel he is. I feel there's enough evidence to show that Joe Biden and Hunter Biden was in cahoots, and they went ahead and they did some foreign business deals, and they went ahead and broke the law. I feel that way. But until one of these men are convicted, they're not guilty. And that's what makes America great. Now I will sit here. Hunter Biden is not guilty of this gun charge until he faces a judge and a jury, and the jury says, hey, we think he's guilty. Then there's a whole appeal process. But ladies and gentlemen, why you don't want to face the judge? Trump had to. Why don't the media push for Hunter Biden to face the judge? Because they can't show anything, or they can't push anything that hurts their golden boy, Joe Biden. Plugs, Uncle Joe. I was listening to Rush Limbaugh, and I forgot that he used to call Joe Biden plugs. Anyway, that's going to end this first segment. We'll be right back after a short break. Please stay tuned for our second segment. We'll be right back. How you doing, everyone? Isaac here. I'm the Cajun Conservative, and I want to thank Brother Lanny Hayes from Hayes' Dump Truck Service for their generous support of the Cajun Conservative and Brothers Just Searching. Hayes' Dump Truck Service serves the Lafayette and surrounding areas. If you have any job that you need done, like cleanup or hauling material to your job site or your home, we haul limestone, we haul sand, we haul topsoil, any type of material you need. If you're in the Lafayette and surrounding areas, please call Brother Lanny Hayes at 337-852-8043. Remember, Hayes' Dump Truck Service, where Jesus is Lord of the company.
With your blood, cleansed and made us whole. Not one hoof, not one soul.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment of the Cajun Conservative Show today. Forgot to announce in the first segment, Mr. Kevin Sorbo is going to be with us in the third segment, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you might be asking, who is Kevin Sorbo? Well, he is the actor that played Hercules in the TV series Hercules. He's also played in movies like God's Not Dead, What If, Left Behind, the new movies of Left Behind. A lot of movies, and he is coming out with a new movie, Miracle in East Texas, and he also came out with a children's book, I think it's Conquering the Lionhood, and we're going to be sitting down with him in the third segment and talking to him about Hollywood and being a Christian and a conservative, but also his new movie and his book. Stay tuned for that. You're really going to enjoy it. Talking about Rush, and look, I didn't know they had this on Spotify. And this is our hosting site is Spotify for podcasters. Now we're on all the platforms. We're on Apple, Google, Spotify, Rumble, YouTube. We're on a lot of other audio platforms. Amazon Music. We're on Amazon Music. We have a lot of and Spotify for podcasters helps us out with that. Great hosting site, in my opinion. But, you know, I was listening on Spotify the other day, and I found some of Rush's old podcasts. And, man, Rush has been going to be almost 3 years in February. In February, it's going to be 3 years. And, which is funny. That week when Rush passed on, there was another celebrity, not as big as Rush, but, Carmen, the Christian singer, died the day before Rush. So those two dates are pretty significant in my memory. I did a whole special episode when Rush passed on. But two trailblazers, one in Christian music, one in the conservative radio. And this is why we have what we have now. You think about it, podcasting. I always like talking to people about politics. I used to do videos back in 2016 when Trump first ran. I just wish I would have stayed with it, but I didn't. And now, but this whole show is, even the camera angle, majority of my camera angles are inspired by Rush Limbaugh. But going to that, I was listening to some stuff the other day, and like I said in the first segment, talking about plugs, I forgot Rush called Joe Biden plugs. And ladies and gentlemen, that I wish, and look, there's some good commentators out there. I don't know why I'm talking about this. It's on my mind. We got Dan Bongino. We have Matt Walsh. We have Ben Shapiro. Man, we got Scott Ford. I'm gonna throw Scott Ford in there too. Scott, you're amongst the greats if you're listening. But Scott Ford on Rumble, go check him out. We got some good commentators, and but there was nobody like Rush. I wonder what Rush would be saying right now. Let's think about it. And then, I know I'm not going off track of politics. It's just, man, I really miss Rush, and I wish Rush was still with us, but I don't think he wants to come back. I was hearing some good testimonies. David Limbaugh is Rush's brother, and there was some conversations that David Limbaugh talked about Rush, about the Lord. So we might get when we get to heaven. There's no might. I'm going to heaven. God put my faith and trust in Jesus. When we get to heaven, we might just hear mega dittos. And we're gonna see Rush dancing in front of the throne room of the Lord. So we just got, that's a hope. That's a hope we have. But that's anybody can make it to heaven. All they got to do is put their faith and trust in the Lord Jesus Christ and say, Lord, forgive me my sins, and you're going to heaven. But you got to truly believe in the salvation grace of Jesus Christ. All right, let's move on. So last time we were together, I talked about John Featherman. Well, they made a special rule so John Featherman could wear shorts and wear hoodies and wear whatever he wanted into the Senate chamber, which in my opinion is disgraceful. Look, I don't like wearing a suit and tie either. I understand you might not like a suit and tie, or wear, what you like to wear. Okay, like look, if you watch this show long enough, or you listen to this show, I wear a ball cap. I wear a t-shirt sometimes. I wear button shirts. I wear my first half. My top of my body. I try to look presentable because I'm in front of a camera. If you listen on the audio side, you don't see what I wear. You just hear my voice. But on YouTube and Rumble and other platforms, they get to see a video. So I try to look presentable. But normally I'm wearing a ball cap and I'm wearing a t-shirt or a button-down shirt. I don't come in here wearing a suit. If I would ever get elected, that's maybe one reason why I don't want to run. I don't want to wear a suit. But John Featherman wanted to run for Senate, and he also, I read an article earlier that he said he would abide by the rules of wearing suits and everything, and he didn't. He broke that promise. Now, he made some weird claims saying if the House and the Senate would go ahead and pass a budget that would extend the government, not shut down the government, and also send more money to Ukraine, he would start wearing a suit. He would save the economy, and he wear a suit. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not a bargaining chip. But look, if you want to look like a slob in the Senate, yeah, you look like a slob. I don't think the Republicans should extend. We're going to talk about this a little later on, and I got 3 stories in this segment I would like to try to cram into if we possibly can. But going back to that, this is why I'm bringing this up, because any senator can wear whatever they want now, according to Chuck Schumer. And look, I don't like Susan Collins. Susan Collins, in my opinion, is a rhino. We reported last time we were together that Mitt Romney would resign. If she would say she resigned or she would leave the Senate, I would be happy. But I could not pass up this story, because this story is pretty funny. Susan Collins jokes she will wear a bikini to the Senate while slamming dress code changes. This came from Fox News. Ladies and gentlemen, I said this on the last show, and I'm glad it had to be Susan Collins. That's the only thing. It had to be Susan Collins. I said Republicans should walk in the Senate chamber with something like impeach Biden or drill baby drill, something. Now, I don't know. That would be disturbing if you see Susan Collins in a bikini. But ladies and gentlemen, what if she did it? I wonder if Chuck Schumer would go ahead and change the rule back. I'm just, but this is the thing, ladies and gentlemen, on this dress code issue. Now, a lot of people might be saying, that is not an issue, Isaac. It doesn't matter what they wear. Well, when you have other governments wearing suits and ties, except Zelensky, because Zelensky always comes in like he's ready for battle. Even in the United States, I have a picture of him in the Capitol, and he's wearing his military outfit. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. I think that is so disrespectful to our nation's capital and our nation's, even if It just you have this is you should look respectful. You should look like you're dignified. And like I said, look, this is coming from a guy that does not like wearing a suit and tie. Now, if I would ever get elected into office, I would probably, and depending what office, if it is the Senate, if it's Congress, if it's the president, can you imagine? Could you imagine John Featherman becoming the president of the United States and stepping into Oval Office with some shorts and a hoodie? I just don't. But yeah, I couldn't pass that up. I know there's a lot more stories I could put into this slot, but I couldn't pass that up. And like, I would laugh my butt off if Susan Collins would go ahead and do this. And like I said, I didn't go that far. I just told him, hey, they need to wear t-shirts with something. Let's really use this for our advantage. Put drill baby drill or something. I know Marjorie Taylor Greene was in the Senate. She probably would do it. All right, let's move on. The House fails to advance defense spending bill after McCarthy delays short-term funding vote. This comes on the heel now of a small group of House Republicans joined the Democrat Party in shooting this down. What's funny is, ladies and gentlemen, we just passed a $2 trillion bill that would keep the government open. Okay, it would keep the government open. All our cares was done. We extended this debt limit. Why are we still talking about a government shutdown? It's like every 6 months I'm coming on this podcast and talking about a government shutdown. Why are we spending so much money that we don't have enough money to keep the government open? Now you have the Democrats trying to push the House Republicans into passing a spending bill. Kevin McCarthy is feeling the pinch because if a government shutdown happens, it does not look good on any party's watch. This is why the Democrat Party tried to push. But then you have some in the conservative caucus, which I agree with, say, look, we need to stop spending money. And ladies and gentlemen, look, this vote, it failed. Thank goodness. Isaac, you want our government to shut down? No, I don't want our government to shut down. But the thing of it is, we need to stop spending money. Every 6 months, every 9 months, whatever it is, we're hearing of another government shutdown. Oh, it's in this department, that department, this department. And they're always extending the debt limit. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't keep on doing this. $2 trillion. Last time we had a possible government shutdown, we were going to go ahead and reach our debt limit. Ladies and gentlemen, why? Americans are suffering, and you have the government worrying about shutting. Look, hey, let's do this, okay? And look, like I said, I'm not advocating for it, but it just makes sense. You know how many people are getting laid off? People can't pay their bills. You know how many people are living paycheck to paycheck? Think about it. You, the American citizen, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, and the government, look, when we don't have money, we just got to go without. And look, there might be a big appliance. Something, your washer, your ice box, your stove might go out, but you have to go ahead and deal with it because you don't have the money. It's funny how when the government don't have the money, they just call the Internal Revenue Service, and not the Federal Reserve, and tell them, hey, print us up some more money, and we're going to pass a bill to increase our credit card. I can't call Capital One and say, hey, can you increase my credit card? I can, and they're going to laugh at me. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't do that. You can't max out a credit card and expect the credit card company to go ahead and give you more money. If they're doing, they're trying to put you in bankruptcy. But that's what the government does. The government runs out of credit, and they go and ask the Federal Reserve, hey, give us more credit. And ladies and gentlemen, it needs to stop. Yeah, but the government's going to shut down. Well, guess what? If we can't pay our bills, we go without. Do you know that's when the economy really goes up, when the government shuts down? Yeah, but what about the national parks? What about... If you can't afford to go in them, I haven't went into a national park, oh man, since Gatlinburg. I went to 10 years ago. Me and my wife went out there for our honeymoon. That was the last time I went to Tennessee. Ladies and gentlemen, this does not work. This will not work. Now, the Democrats are upset because in this bill, this gets shut down, and look, I talked about that today. My dad's into politics, but he's not really into politics. He's trying to stay away from it because his blood pressure goes up, and he was upset about this. There's a lot of people out here They trying to shut. They're afraid the government's going to shut down. We don't have no money. But a group of now this comes from Politico. GOP lawmakers renew oppressions to additional Ukrainian aid ahead of Zelensky's visit. Zelensky's coming into the United States. I don't know if it's to go talk to the UN or what, but they're asking for more money. Ladies and gentlemen, how are we going to afford to send aid to Ukraine when we can't even keep our own government open? Yeah, but you got to realize this is a fight for democracy. Not our democracy. We're free. Yeah, but if we don't send money, Ukraine's going to fall. Tell them to go ask Germany. Tell them to go ask somebody else. Like acting like we're the only doggone country that got money. Now the Democrats are all upset. You're not gonna go ahead and send money to Ukraine. We don't have money to keep our own government open. Think about this. You, the American citizen. You're watching the news and you're hearing politicians go on your screens and say, we gotta extend the debt. We gotta go ahead and ask for more money because our government can't be open. At the same time, they're saying, hey, we need to send billions upon billions of dollars to Ukraine. Come on, man. You really think we're that dumb, media? You really think we're that dumb, national politicians? The left wants to spend money left and right, no matter where it comes from. I can look. Thank 23 representatives and 6 senators, led by J.D. Vance and Representative Chip Troy, signed a letter outlining their opposition to the Biden administration's latest aid request, quoting words about open-ended commitment to Ukraine, more than $100 billion in aid already approved, and what they called an unclear strategy for helping a war-torn country. They sent them more money. They already got $100 billion of your taxpayer dollars, but they're going to go ahead and ask for more money while our government can't even open. This is, and look, what I'm saying, and look, I'm not the only one with this opinion. Like I said, my dad don't get into politics too much, but we were talking about this, and his blood pressure was going up. And I don't think we're not the only ones that feel that way. It just don't make sense. We can't keep our own government open. We got to do a short-term spending bill. And you want to send billions upon billions to Ukraine. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about y'all. I haven't heard that much about Ukraine's war. Is Russia still fighting Ukraine? Excuse me. Is Russia still fighting? We don't know. All we know is that Zelensky comes to America every so often. Hey, I need more money. And Biden is bending over backwards to give him money. If I was Kevin McCarthy, I would tell him, look, I'm not doing anything until y'all stop sending money to Ukraine or ask for the receipts. Oh, we can't do that. No, we can't do that because, my goodness, that's gonna show our corruption. Oops. I can hear Biden today. Oops. Ladies and gentlemen, there's something fishy about Ukraine. I've said this for the last couple. And look, when the war first started, yes, I was behind this microphone. I said America needs to help. But we're almost 2 years into this war. 2 years. And America has given more money than any other nation to Ukraine. And they still, we need to stop sending this money to them. But this is the problem in our nation. Our politicians think that's their money. No, you work for us, sucker. And you're sending our hard-earned money. You know we could have done so much in this country with $100 billion? Nope. We got to send that to Ukraine. It makes me sick that we live in a country where you have leadership that cares more about a country that's next door to Russia that does not involve us. But your people can't even afford to buy food. And our government can't stay open because we're running out of money. That right there burns me up. Burns me up. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back with our guests in the next segment. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back in a few minutes. So stay tuned.
Cheers and good on you, boys and girls. My name is Scott Ford, and I have a show on Rumble. It's the Scott Ford Show, all one word. The Scott Ford Show, all one word, and it's on Rumble. I'd be very happy if you went ahead and subscribed. Like Isaac, I'm a true American-loving patriot. Thank you, Isaac. God bless. Enjoy your life.
You're my peace of mind when this old world seems to get me down.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the third and final segment of the Cajun Conservative Show today. Just a reminder that even in bad times, Jesus Christ is your hope. He's your strength. Love that song from Mr. Lenny Hayes. Thank to good artist. I got to be biased because I'm his son. So he does a good job. And, well, without further ado, as advertised in the earliest segments, we have Mr. Kevin Sorbo. He is the actor that played on God's Not Dead, but also known as Hercules, and he has a children's book. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that on the. Oh, I don't have it at the moment, but wrote a children's book as well. Conquering the Lion, I think it's something like that, Mr. Kevin.
It's called the Lionhood.
Lionhood, yes. But also have a movie out, new movie that's gonna be coming out pretty soon, and a Miracle in East Texas. I think that's based on an actual event, correct?
True story from 1930. It's a wonderful story. Oscar-nominated writer Dan Gordon wrote it. I directed it, starred in it. My wife's in it. Lou Gossett Jr. is in it. John Ratzenberger's in it. Tyler Main. Great story. It's won 10 film festivals, and I hope people will check it out. Go to sorbostudios.com is the place to go. Sorbo, my last name. Sorbo. Studios. You better know what studios are. sorbostudios.com.
Yeah, and look, I apologize. I butcher names all the time. Unfortunately, here in Louisiana, we have a bad accent, and we can't say too many names. But Mr. Kevin, I invited you to come on to talk about your movie and your book, but I also want to talk about Hollywood and how they censor a lot of Christians, because you are a Bible-believing Christian, correct?
Oh yeah, and a conservative. See, if you're a Christian and a conservative in Hollywood, apparently that's like a double leper to them. So it's weird, it's weird. It's weird in an industry that used to be pretty religious, whether it was Jewish or it was Catholic or whether it was, Christian, and they were pretty conservative. But the 60s kind of changed everything, and Hollywood just flipped and went the other way.
So how did you get into acting? Before we get into your movie and your book, because that's I never knew you was a book author as well.
I got 3 books out now. So, yeah, you know what? I was just a kid. I was 11 years old, and I grew up just outside of Minneapolis, St. Paul area in Minnesota. And we have a theater downtown called the Guthrie Theater, a very famous theater. A lot of actors, a lot of plays start there before they go to Broadway. And we had a 5th grade field trip down there to watch The Merchant of Venice. So I was 11. It was Shakespeare. I don't know what the heck they were saying, but I was just really zoned in to the actors on. That's nice, dear. But the dream, the seed was planted. And when I didn't really do much with it until I got to college, I had a double business major and took a minor in drama and started doing a lot of commercial work in Minneapolis. And I got my good old Screen Actors Guild card by doing Target commercials, 3M and Pillsbury and General Mills commercials. And yeah, that just started really at that time before I moved out to LA to pursue the dream full on. And
that your big break came with Hercules, correct?
Oh, Hercules was huge. I mean, I went down to New Zealand to shoot. It was going to be 5 2-hour movies over a year. Wow! And I got to work the whole year with the amazing Anthony Quinn. And I know a lot of people listening probably don't know who that is. They should. He was one of the big stars from the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and even in the 70s. I mean, Quinn was nominated 6 times for Academy Awards, won twice. He played Zeus. He played my father. But by the 3rd movie, Universal Studios said, "We love what we see. You're going to stay down there. We're going to make it a TV series." And by our 3rd year in the series, we actually became the most watched TV show in the world in 176 countries. So that was pretty cool. And
look, I'm going to be honest with you, Mr. Kevin. I never saw the movie, unfortunately, but I'd seen clips of it. But I knew I'm a big movie history buff. And Hercules is one of those shows that really stand out.
Yeah, it was a blast. It was, I lived in New Zealand 7 years. My entire crew went on to work on Lord of the Rings after we finished. We shot from 1993 to 2000. And then they started shooting Lord of the Rings in. So most of my crew went on to work, and they won Oscars off of that series. So it was I say Hercules started it all, which it did. We were a good training ground for him.
And so now we move to the most recent project you have, Miracle in East Texas, and also the movie, the book, The Test of the Lionhood. How did that come about? Because this is your latest movie, and I already plan on watching it. We have it on the screen right now, so people can see what it looks like when they go to the movie theaters. How did that all come about?
Wonderful script. Dan Gordon is a good friend of mine who wrote it. Like I said, an Oscar-nominated writer, and I just said, we got to make this movie. And we're lucky enough to find the funding for it. It's a true story set in 1930. It's about two con men, played by myself and John Ratzenberger, that went through Oklahoma and Texas, and they would woo widows out of their money on fake oil wells. And they strike oil in Kilgore, Texas, the largest oil fund in the history of the world, right there in the heart of the Depression, 1930. So it created a lot of work and a lot of jobs for people in that area during the Depression. And we, of course, get arrested because we were con guys. And during the trial, all the widows came down to hopefully see us hang for everything we did. But it's a wonderful PG-rated movie. It's funny. The fans will like it. It's won 10 film festivals, everything from Best Family Film, Best Faith Film, Best Romantic Comedy. It's PG-rated. You can take your 6 and 7-year-olds to it. And it's just a wonderful movie that's got love and hope and laughter, redemption, faith, things that Hollywood used to do but doesn't do anymore. But I still like making movies like that. So we're in theaters October 29th and 30th. We only get 2 days. It's a low budget movie. And I said low budget, it doesn't look low budget, but we don't have the big $100 million advertising budget like these movies like, the Avatar and Pirates of the Caribbean have. Those are $300 million movies. So we got to compete against these big boys with their negative message. And we need people word of mouth. We need people to go to sorbostudios.com, buy tickets now. You can link on there, put your zip code in. They'll show you right where to go. And please, if we sell out these theaters now, we'll get more days. Trust me.
And go on to your point, we've already seen it with multiple movies, with a lot of faith-based film, The Chosen being one of them. Chosen went into theaters, and all the critics said this is never going to happen. They're not going to break. They're not going to break even in theaters. And The Chosen got millions. Sound of Freedom, and while you had movies like Barbie and woke Indiana Jones and all that come out, they busted at the box office.
Barbie did really well because people generation wanted. But what is Barbie's message? The message is, women, you don't need men. Men are useless. Men are wimps, and you don't need a man in your life. And Hollywood's been doing that for a long time. This emasculation of men, it's just crazy to me. And I don't know why they want to do it, but they've been doing it. So, but you look at a movie like, the movie I did, God's Not Dead, which was just a massive hit. What If's another one. Let There Be Lights, another one I directed that was in theaters for 4 months. And my most recent one in theaters in January and February was Left Behind, Rise of the Antichrist, based on the Left Behind books by Jerry Jenkins, who's Dallas Jenkins' father. And Dallas directed me in my first faith-based movie called What If. And I highly recommend What If to people. It's a wonderful movie.
It is a wonderful movie. That is one of my favorite movies made that you share it. And it just shows your decisions that you make in life. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of people would ask, well, is that reality? Would God do that? Possibly. Mr. Kevin, I said this, and I'm a youth pastor, and I've told lots of people this already. Human beings put God in a box. And like he can't see 20 different views or 20 different areas of our lives at one time. As a human, we just put them so much in a box. And when you come up with a movie like that, What If, it made me think, wow, God sees every path that we would go on, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Oh, yeah. There was no question. And, people got to remember, God never promised us an easy life. We're here on this planet, and everybody's got a story, and you're always going to have obstacles in your life. How do you react to those obstacles is really up to you. You can blame God, or you can blame the family, the world, the government, and just give up on life, or you can trudge on because bad things are going to happen. You got to go, you know what? It happened to me. What am I going to do about it? And too many people in this world right now, they just decide to give up. And what rules their life now is anger and fear and hatred, and they blame everybody else for their problems. And you can see what's going on in our schools, what's going on in our major cities, what's going on with the violence and death. And it's just, it's incredible. We got to fight in our hands, and I'm trying to do movies that have a positive message to fight back all that anger and hate.
Yeah, and we need movies like that because, like you said, this movie that you're coming out with, Miracles in East Texas, it's a faith-based movie, and we're not seeing that no more because a a lot of people will watch. And look, I watched it last weekend. Fast X. Fast X was a great, exciting movie, but there is a lot of violence in those movies. And young children, like my oldest is 8 years old. I'm not gonna let him sit down and just watch anything. So it's nice to go to a movie theater, or even bring it into your own home and watch a movie that's clean. That you don't have to worry about violence. You don't have to worry about sexual immorality, anything like that.
Well, you know, I get stopped all the time. I used to be Hercules and Andromeda, my 2 long-running series. But I get stopped now for God's Not Dead and What If and Soul Surfer and Let There Be Light. That's what people stop me for and say, please make more movies like this. Well, I'm making it, but you got to, they have to support it. And I know, like I said, it's hard to get it out there if they don't have a big advertising budget. That's why I need people to sign up at sorbostudios.com and we can keep you up to date with what's going out there. Because if you look at what TV shows are out there now. What do they do? What do they do? This emasculation of men. What do they do? The father's kind of a dope. The mom's kind of a babe. The teenage kids use dad as just this punching bag. And we train kids to look at fathers as they're kind of a useless part of the family who don't really need fathers. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. I'm all for embracing masculinity. We have this, you know, all these people on the left are going, it's toxic masculinity. Why do they want to make men like women and women like men? And this whole thing, this androgynous society does not work. And most movies today, what do they show? The women are the ones that kick butt. They're the ones that save the day. The men can't do it. Indiana Jones, most recent one, that's what they did to him. That movie bombed. That movie's going to lose over $100 million because they didn't let Indy be Indiana Jones. And it's like, when is Hollywood going to get the message here? It's just weird what they're doing to the world.
Yeah, and it's sad, and like you big studios, Disney, that push this money through, and they're not making money off of it, and they're pushing LGBTQ. They're going against men. It is sad. I want to talk about your book a little bit, and like I said, we're throwing it up on the screen right now. The Test of Lionhood. This is done by Brave Books, and they're doing an excellent job writing books that will teach kids just not faith lessons, but good moral books for them to go to the library. Excuse me, and take these books out, where us as parents, we don't have to worry about them trying to genderize our children by saying there's 250,000 genders. So, you know, how did you team up with Brave Book, and you're on tour right now with them, correct?
I am. I'm on tour with the book and also on tour, obviously, for the movie as well. Kirk Cameron's a friend of mine. You know, he was in the Left Behind movies 23, 24 years ago, before I was, and he did a book. And I think a lot of people that are listening right now know that he went to libraries, and some libraries wouldn't let him read his book. It's a kid's book, but they were okay with drag queens coming in a library and reading to 7-year-olds, because apparently Kirk Cameron's really scary. So it's like, I started talking about the lions. We need to wake up the lions. I'm tired of the silent majority crap that's out there. With them silent majority, wake the heck up. Stop being so afraid of the cancel culture. You know, this woke thing is so powerful because the press is behind it, the government's behind it, and it's all it is insanity. It's just absolute insanity. So I said we need to wake up the lions. So Brave Book got a hold of me and said, well, let's do a book called The Test of Lionhood. It doesn't bash any group. It's just a wonderful story, and it really is. Let boys be boys. Let them be boys. Let them grow up to be strong men, strong family members, strong fathers. And it's a story about a young cub, Lucas. He's got 2 younger sisters. They're out playing near the mountain. The youngest sister gets cut by a very poisonous plant. He knows the plant. His father's told him about the goods and bads and things out there in the mountains that they got to be careful for. He knows he has no time to get back home to his mom and dad. He's got to go up to the top of the mountain, which is closer, and grab the flower that his dad told him is the only thing that can save his sister's life. So he's got to get past all his fears, all his insecurities, all his, he's got to get past all these things thrown in front of him and find his courage to do it. And he does it. And he saves a little sister's life. And this book is a positive book. And Brave Books does books for kids between 4 and 12 years old. You can sign up right now, bravebooks.com. Go to bravebooks.com. Get a free signed book from me. As long as you join Brave Books, and you get a new book every single month from them that are great for your kids. And as you mentioned earlier, they just have strong values about life and just letting kids be kids and let them grow up and find their own way. I mean, you want parents to lead them and hopefully good teachers. We're not finding that in public schools, but no. This is about kids growing up, and let them find their own way. They will find their way. Trust me.
And you bringing that up, me and my wife's a private school teacher. She teaches 6th to 8th grade. I'm a youth pastor of a church, and so I get them from 8th grade to their 18. So I see what you're saying. You know, there's a lot of kids. They do have questions, but like you said, we just don't need good teachers. We need good pastors, youth pastors that are not gonna bend down to wokeism. And you know, you mentioned Kirk Cameron. I love how Kirk Cameron has been doing that for the last couple of years. Been telling pastors and teachers, hey, do your job, be a spiritual leader, and you know they're gonna find their way. We gotta lead. We have to lead by example.
Yeah, and we got a lot of woke pastors out there too. I do a lot of speaking events, and I always remind pastors. I said, you guys got to remember, you work for God. You don't work for government. And too many of them are working for government right now. I mean, I walked into a church when I live in Florida now. We left California 5 years ago. The first church that we went to, as we were looking for a church, I was welcomed by everybody. They're very nice. Of course, they recognized me because of the faith-based movies I've done. 5 minutes into a sermon, he basically said, we got to apologize for being white. We stood up and walked out. I said, this is insanity. This is just so crazy that so many woke pastors out there now as well. And these guys, they have bowed to the God of government, and government is not God.
No, it's not. And God's Not Dead 4 was a perfect example of that. We the People with David White. And it just, movies like that, we need to have more movies like what you're doing at your studio. We have a few more minutes. I would like to ask you about Hollywood and cancel culture, because this is a political show, Mr. Kevin, and you know, a lot of people bash me here on the Cajun Conservative Show. Isaac, you're making up all this stuff about Hollywood censoring actors. You're making up all this stuff about conservatism. If you're a conservative and a Christian, you're just evil. Mr. Kevin, you speak from firsthand experience.
Because Hollywood has taught them that we're evil.
Right.
Every time you see a conservative in a movie or a pastor, they make them bumbling, stupid, evil, dumb, idiots, whatever. That's what they have done. So people buy into that. Yes, I'm the first cancel culture victim in Hollywood. 12 years ago, my manager and agent said, we can't work with you anymore because you're a Christian and a conservative. So I'm in the business. So these people are coming after you. They're ignorant. They're uneducated. They have no idea. They don't live in that world. I've lived in that world for over 40 years. So I laughed because I said, you know, you guys, I'm in an industry that screams for tolerance. Oh, be tolerant of what we're doing. Be tolerant of this and that. Screams for freedom of speech, but they're hypocrites. Just like Washington, D.C. It's a one-way street. Andrew Breitbart, who created Blaze TV, he said way back then, he said, politics runs downstream from culture. Who runs the culture? Hollywood does. You see all these politicians rubbing elbows with these people in Hollywood. I'll tell you something. There's a lot of conservatives out there in Hollywood that are afraid to come out of that conservative closet. I am not. And I get actors, I get writers, I get camera guys, whatever. And every movie I do in the last 10 years come up and say, thanks for being a voice for us. You know what? Be a voice for yourself. Don't be afraid, you know, but fear is an amazing weapon. We saw governments all over the world use fear and COVID to control your life. What did it do? It made suicides higher. It made alcoholism higher, drug use higher, spousal abuse higher, child abuse higher. They closed down mom and pop grocery stores because they were not essential. But we'll leave Target and Costco open. You don't think there's money involved in this with the government? Give me a break.
And look, I admire you for what you're doing, because look, it's easy for me as a normal American to say, look, I'm a conservative, I'm praying one day that the Lord opens this show up to where we could reach a lot more people. That is my goal, to educate young people, you know, but the Lord's using you, Mr. Kevin. He's using you to wake up the silent voices. Just not for conservatism, but for Christians as well, because unfortunately, we don't want to offend nobody. Well, we got to start offending some people because our country's going wrong.
It's okay for them to offend us all the time.
Correct. Yeah.
Once again, it's a one-way street, and they're hypocrites. And most of these people out there screaming at you, screaming at me, these are. I swear to God, I could probably do a documentary on them. I think they have probably a lot of the same common denominators there. I think a lot of them probably grew up without a father. A lot of them probably don't have a job. They probably failed once and give up on life, and it was everybody else's fault. It was your fault that they don't, their dreams didn't come true. So what do? They join Antifa.
Yep.
They join BLM. What is BLM's manifesto? People come after me for that. I love Isaac Washington, the NBA player from Orlando. He did not take a knee.
Yeah.
And all these NFL guys taking a knee? Really? I mean, they attacked Tim Tebow for taking a knee because he's thanking God for the touchdown he just scored. but you want to take a knee bashing America? I mean, go to another country. Tell me what country you think is better than America. Why do you think we have 5 million illegals over the last 4 years cross our border? Why do you think that's happening? If we're the worst country in the world, then why do you think it's happening? These people need to go live in these other countries and maybe experience what all these other people are getting away from before they open their mouths, because they're uneducated and they're ignorant of the truth and the reality. And you know what? It's unbelievable what we're doing in this country, why we're trying to turn it into a third world country. When Trump was president, you got to give the guy credit, okay? Maybe he wasn't presidential, but he did everything he said he was going to do.
Yep.
And 1.4 million in 4 years came across the border. If Biden gets in again, we're going to have 10 million over 8 years coming. We're going to put them in these sanctuary cities. We send just busloads to New York and Chicago, and they complain. You're the ones that said you're a sanctuary city. Once again, they're hypocrites. They're fine when it happens to California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. It's fine when it happens there. But when it comes to their neighborhood, now they're complaining. I was just in New York City a little while ago. Trust me, I talked to enough people that they're so upset now that all these people are coming there. All these people, you're getting busloads. You're not getting 100,000 a day coming across your border. So there's my soap opera.
That's what a podcast is for, though. You can go ahead and open up and look, hey, this show, Mr. Kevin, go check out some of my shows. You see, I get red in the face. So it just, and it makes you mad because it just, you love this country so much.
I know.
And
I hate to do this. I gotta actually get dressed and run downstairs. There's a car waiting for me. They're gonna drive me to my next interview.
Yes, sir.
Right. People go to bravebooks.com, sign up, and go to sorbostudios.com, and go see my movie. It's a good family movie.
Mr. Kevin, thank you for coming on the Cajun Conservative Show. Hope to do it again soon, sir.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
No problem.
God bless.
That was Mr. Kevin Sorbo interviewing with us at the Cajun Conservative Show. Want to thank him again for coming on to the Cajun Conservative Show. A great man. Go check out his films and his new movie. Please go to the movie theaters. That is very important. If you go to the movie theaters when Miracles in East Texas comes out, you see the dates on the screen right now, October 29th and 30th. Go check it out. Also, go ahead and check out his new book, The Test of the Lionhood. The Test of the Lionhood, and go ahead and show your kids those books. Go to bravebooks.com and pick up those books for your kids. Real educational in the faith, and it also helps out to give you kids some life lessons and understand. So with that being said, that's going to end this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show. Want to thank you again for always listening to the episodes. Remember that you can go ahead and like and subscribe on any platform that you're listening on. You can also follow us on Rumble and subscribe to us on YouTube. Remember that Jesus Christ is King. He's coming back, and he's coming back soon. So don't be faint of heart, because Jesus has overcome the world. If you want to know Jesus, your personal Lord and Savior, reach out to us here at the Cajun Conservative Show at the Cajun Conservative 5 at gmail.com, and we will tell you how to make Jesus your Savior and heaven your home. So until next time, be blessed, be encouraged. You have a good one.
He said that Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open door.